Good morning, America. Good afternoon from Germany. Here's Pascal speaking again. It's a new week with new news. And yeah, let's just prepare for what's happening this week. You can hear it's already better with my voice. Not 100%, but better than last week. So yeah, we can have some live streams this week. Let's see what we have today. My platform is just starting here, but let's have a look at the economic calendar. We discussed it last Friday. Today is ISM non-manufacturing PMI, so this is a 3-star event in about 40 minutes. Yeah, this can cause further movement. This is the only 3-star event for today, but we have more this week. Let's have a look at this week. Tomorrow is short-term energy outlook, and on Wednesday we have the crude oil inventories like every week. On Thursday is initial jobless claims like every week, and Friday is more important because there we will have PPI, again inflation data 1 hour before market open, so this one will be important again next Friday, together with today, the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. So today and Friday important news. Some earnings on Wednesday after the close, but no major companies because these already reported for this quarter. Okay, let's see if my trading platform has started. Yes, it has, so we can bring up the chart here. Oh, so I closed it bad. I have to reopen it now. Okay, here futures. December future. Tack. So my lines are still here. We still are within this range here. We made highs last week, as you can see. This was last Thursday, this was last Friday, and today we are, I have to show the data, we are here at 11,934 points, still a little bit lower. We opened with a small up gap, but then we closed it immediately. Tonight, my night, it was midnight for me, it was 6 p.m. Eastern Sunday when future market reopened, and as you can see, Friday was a non-farm payrolls. There was a huge movement to the downside because the news were better than expected, and then we had a 100% reversal to the upside and closed a little bit lower. So I said on last Friday I will wait for a long entry, so I have no position. I went with no position into the weekend. I had a short position here, I closed it right here at the yellow line, and I didn't take on a long position. Would have been nice to get in here, but I wasn't in front of my screen because I was in a one-on-one coaching. Therefore I have no position right now, still waiting for lower levels to come and to see confirmation, and then I can enter a long swing trade. So it's still interesting to go in at the yellow line or the blue line here. But you can also just draw a Fibonacci from last Friday if you want. We'll just delete this one here and draw a new one just from the low point to the high point. So you can use it like this. This was the high point, this was the low point, and now we want to see how far we can pull back. So we are right at the first Fibonacci level here, 61.8%. Next one would be here at 50%, and you can see this was major low here. We had some closings here, so this can be an important level to the downside, 11,892 points. To the upside would be 11,975 points, or the 100% level here. This would be above 12,047 points. Yeah, these are the major levels for today. We still have some minutes until the opening, 8 minutes until the market opens. And then we will have the news in about 35 minutes. So yeah, what is ISM non-manufacturing purchasing managers index. What a long word. Yeah, we will have here some forecasts, like every time you see the last news we can see here. The actual number was a little bit lower than forecasted, but the previous months we were higher than expected. So it was last month, it was the first time that we were lower than expected. So let's see how it comes out this time. Yeah, so more than 50% is good for the economy. You can read here, it indicates the non-manufacturing sector is generally contracting, and below is not a good sign for economy. But yeah, what the Federal Reserve wants to see again is about inflation. So we want to see a lower than expected data. This is what the Federal Reserve wants to see, and then we have less risk of high inflation and less fear of higher interest rates, because everything is focusing on interest rates. The Federal Reserve meeting is in about 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. Let's see here. In 9 days is Federal Reserve meeting, and probability are still the same like last week, 75% for 50 basis points and 25% for 75 basis points at the next meeting on December 14th. But the more interesting is where will be the peak of interest rates, and this is probably next year, February, March or May, around 4.75 to 5%. You can see here, this is the expectation for February, and for March we are also here, highest expectation is 4.75 to 5%, but maybe a little bit higher. So the peak will be around 5% interest rate, and you see in May the expectation is already a little bit lower, so 5% or a little bit lower. So we will peak around 5%, between 4.75 and 5.25% will be the peak. This is what the market is expecting, between February and March will be the peak. So we will see further interest rate hikes, but the pace will go slower. So for the next meeting, not 75 basis points like the last times, but maybe 50 basis points. But when the data comes out worse, so if there is more fear of more inflation, then this expectation can shift to 75 basis points. I don't expect that Federal Reserve will higher the interest rates by 75 basis points, but the fear should be enough just to bring down the prices. And this is what we want to see for a long entry. So we want to see higher than expected ISM index, so higher than 53.3, because this will bring down the prices at the stock exchanges. This is what we want to see for our long entry, because if this number is higher than expected, this means economy is going good, and therefore the inflation risk is higher, and the expectancy for higher interest rates is also what the market fears, and therefore we want to have exactly this. But I think December will still be a good month for stock markets, so we will probably see a rally within the next weeks. So I don't expect the market to go down the whole way where we came from, but we still have room for 150, 200 points. Let's see how far we can drop today with news, or maybe we won't drop at all. We will just rise. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I will just have a look in the chat. Once you are free, please have a look on NG and oil. Yes, of course, we can have a look at oil. I've already seen today that it's up. It's up big today, 2.8%, because OPEC said on the weekend that they won't higher the amount of oil. They will pull out. So yeah, even if there will be a cap on the price of Russian oil, because European Union wants to cap the price, I think at $60 for Russian oil, and the Russians said, okay, if you want to cap, then do it, but then we won't deliver to all countries that use this cap. And this means that there will be higher demand for the rest of the crude oil, not from Russia, but from Saudi Arabia and other countries like the US. And therefore this WTI, West Texas Intermediate, this is US crude oil, moves up because there will be probably higher demand for US oil when the cap is set for Russian oil, and therefore the Russians won't deliver to Europe or to the European countries that have in place this cap. And that's what we see. It's just a reaction to the news from the weekend, and let's see how far it can go, because yeah, the companies already have problems using this Russian oil. They don't want to use it because of regulation and so on, and yeah, that's why they are trying to find other sources to get oil, even if it's higher priced. So it's already factored in a lot, but not 100%, and that's what we see the price movement. I don't expect it to go higher by 10 or 15%, but yeah, that's just a normal common movement here. But it can still go higher when the OPEC says no, we won't pull out more crude oil out of the soil. We will just stick to what we are producing now, right now. So interesting to see, but still in a downtrend. So this was the last high point, this was the last low point. We made lower lows here, and now we are trying to pull higher again, but it's still this area here where we have a little bit of resistance here. So let's see if we can close above this level today, but it's still an area where we have a little bit of struggle to get above. But if we can close higher than $84 here, then we will probably see higher price levels. Yeah. And now to natural gas. Natural gas is down big. Where is it? Here. Just the opposite to crude oil. Natural gas is down more than 7% today. Huge gap down, as you can see here. And on a daily, we can see that the parabolic SAR went into a downtrend now. The dot moved to the last high point. We have still the last lows here, so this can be an important support level here. If you want to try to take on a smaller long trade, this can be an important level right here where we are, or at lower levels. Yeah, I think we were already at the lows, $5.73. And the last lows were $5.64, $5.68. Yeah, it's already at the lows, but maybe we will retest today. But I think this can be an important and interesting level to take on a long trade, just to close this gap we had over the weekend here. I think natural gas prices can move lower, because you see the weakness. We made lower lows from the highs here at $10. This is a lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, and yeah, we tried to come back to the 50% level, but now we are rejected again. So now we retest the lows, and as soon as we break below, we will make lower lows. So we are within the short trend here. But for the first attempt, I think we will hold the level. It is a support level, therefore you could try to trade it to the long side, but just for a small trade here for maybe 9 or 10%, just to close this gap here. The movements in natural gas are naturally higher, so therefore 10% is nothing abnormal. So the market just opened. Let's go back to Nasdaq just to see what happens, and 1 minute chart here, and let's see what's going on. Maybe 5 minute. Yeah, just bring this up here. Here's my chart. Okay, so you see we are still below VWAP here. Our moving averages are right here on a 1 minute. Just look at it on a 5 minute chart. Retested 20 EMA. VWAP is above here. Parabolic SAR is indicating a short trend. The same here for ADX, and it's a stronger trend already at the 30 level. So you see lower highs, lower lows. As long as we stay below 20 EMA and below VWAP and below the last high here, it's still a downtrend, and we still have some time until the news come out. Just bring it here, just to see when the news come. 12 minutes. And then in 26 minutes ISM. Yeah, it takes some time to settle and to find its direction. Maybe we will just trade sideways until the news come out, so everyone is waiting for news. Let's see the major let's see at the VIX first. So VIX is still at low levels. We had lows on Friday at 19.06, so really low. You see the last lows were 19.5, so we were even lower than the lows from August. So almost no fear in the market right now, but we are trading a little bit higher today, but 20 is still a low level, even if we are 6% higher than the close of Friday. Let's have a look at Tesla, a stock where I still want to enter a short trade. But yeah, you can remember last Thursday we tried to enter, but it just barely didn't reach our level. So the $200 mark wasn't reached. 198.92 was the high of the day, and therefore I'm not in a short trade right now. But stock is weaker than the market, minus 3.2% for Tesla today. Let's see SPX. Where's my SPX chart? Here. So you see a gap down, and again in the range of Friday. Maybe we will retest Friday lows, and then let's see what happens here on S&P 500. Closed right at 20 EMA line. Still some room to the upside to VWAP. And the last high is here. Euro-USD is also up, so you can see today we are at 1.056, so still some room when I go on a day chart. Yeah, some green candles in the last days, so this is indicating a weakening of the US dollar and more strength for the euro. But as soon as markets come down, you can see, like last Friday, we can see a huge drop, a sudden drop, and this can also happen today with the news. Yeah, let's see how far we can drop back, and it's still looking for higher highs here right now, the same like Nasdaq and S&P index. So as soon as the markets will gain traction, Euro-USD will also rise. At the last highs here, trying to retest to make higher highs, trying to settle above VWAP. Next Fibonacci line you see here, 11,975. We still have 4 minutes to close this 5-minute candle above the red dot, then this will turn to an uptrend and the red dot will get down here to the last low. On a 1-minute chart we can already see the movement above VWAP. We just went to the last highs where we rejected. Now we will test here next Fibonacci level. And you see here parabolic SAR already moved to the downside, so this is indicating an uptrend. We are above moving averages, we are above VWAP, and we had the crossing here. DI plus is now above DI minus. It's not really a strong uptrend, but it's just establishing this uptrend here. But I wouldn't take on a trade right before the news, just waiting for the news and then the market to find its direction. Yeah, still some time. And we can see again, this is a major resistance level. Nice doji with a huge wick to the upside, almost nobody, indicating small signs of a struggle here. Let's see if we can hold above VWAP. Yeah, seems to be like a sell-off. It looks like on a 5 minute. Yeah, maybe we'll close right here. We still have 2 minutes. And you see on a 1 minute, you would have thought it is a breakout above VWAP, but on a 5 minute, it's still showing this candle hasn't closed, so everything's fine. For the downtrend, we can still close below parabolic SAR and still have a downtrend. And right above is a 200 SMA level on a 5 minute chart, you see here. So this is a major resistance zone, last highs, Fibonacci level and 200 SMA. So it will take its time to break through all these levels, even with the news. Retested and again rejected, so this time it's time to go lower. Let's have a look at sugar again, because I'm still in a sugar position. Sugar, we can see 1.6% in the green today, so going against my short position, but we are not above the last highs from November 30th. So yeah, we still have some room, but it's not looking as good as it was last week, because you see Thursday, Friday we had red candles. Today is a strong green candle. So it's trying to establish higher lows, higher highs maybe. Let's see if we will move above. Then I will probably have to close my short position, but it's still in the green because I opened it here at 0.23. And it's moving lower on Nasdaq Future here, working as expected. And a 5 minute candle closed. So let's see where it closed, right at VWAP. So VWAP is a resistance. But you can see parabolic SAR went to the downside now, indicating establishing a long trend. We crossed here, you see DI plus crossed DI minus. So it's trying to establish a long trend, but it's not really strong at the moment. We are still trying to find direction. The same on a 15 minute chart. Here it is still a downtrend, below moving averages, and DI minus is above DI plus on ADX. But on a day chart you can still see it's an uptrend since November 11th. But ADX is crossing often, you can see here. So no strong trend on a day chart, you see here. The red line is below 15 and purple and Turkish line are almost crossing again. So it's just a long sideways trading phase here. This is what we can see on a day chart with ADX. But parabolic SA are still indicating an uptrend. If you have some questions, just ask them in the chat here and I can answer them. I will be live for 20 more minutes or maybe 25 just to catch the news and to see what happens here. We can also have a look at the earnings on Earnings Whispers. Let's see calendar for this week. So nothing important today. Yeah, nothing important, but I think it was on Wednesday. Yeah, nothing there, but Wednesday is important because there we have GameStop. Yeah, where was the other one? Was it Thursday? Ah, yeah, Thursday. It was Thursday with Lululemon Athletica. This was one of my worst trades ever. There was a 3 times standard deviation. And I sold this Delta 16 put before the earnings. It was back in, I think, 2017, 2018. So, long time ago, but I can still remember as this was one of my worst earnings trades I ever had in options. So, I sold a strangler. I sold a call and I sold a put. But it went to the downside with 3 standard deviations, so the chance was 0.3% for this movement, but it happened. So even if the chance is really low, it can happen, and this is what happened there. So I had a huge loss on Lulu, but I could manage the trade, and yeah, it took me 5 or 6 months to get back this loss here in Lulu trade. It was a small trade on my account, but it took some time to regain the losses in Lulu. Yeah, and DocuSign, Costco, so these are major earnings here. Chewy, Broadcom, so Thursday after market close will be important for earnings again. Not as important as it was in November with the big tech earnings, but yeah, for this week, this is the most important day, Thursday after market close. Yep. Okay, let's see the news. A little bit better than expected. S&P Global Composite PMI, Services PMI also a little bit better than expected, but almost in line. It's only 0.1 points above expectation, so almost nothing. So this shouldn't cause major movements. Yeah, almost nothing. Only 2 star events and almost in line. So more important will be ISM. And we still have 14 minutes left. Yeah, also nice to have you back here in chat, Rishi, Rocket, and everyone else. Feeling a lot better than last week. Was really struggling. But sometimes your body just says, take a break for a week. You can still trade. It wasn't so heavy that I had to lay in bed, but yeah, you could hear my voice and my cough, and it's not fun to talk a lot with this, so therefore I was just taking a break and not being live so often. But it will change this week. I want to be live minimum 3 times a week. Still struggling at VWAP. So you see VWAP is still important. Trying to make lower lows here. We are above moving averages on a 5-minute chart, but below VWAP. Everyone is waiting for PMI. Trading while sick is grueling, yeah. But when you make money like I did last Thursday, Friday, so it can bring you to to health. It can bring you health again. Can make you healthy. Who knows? You know, I'm not a big day trader, so sometimes I take on swing trades. This was like a day trade because it was 23 hours, but it was an overnight trade. It was only one order, and then it was closed in a hole, so I had not to sit in front of the screen just to watch what was happening. We had a clear setup. I was trading the setup and it worked as expected, and I took some profits. You can still rewatch it from the last live streams last week. Rocket has a light position in TQ waiting for direction after reports. I have my stops in place. Yeah, always good to have stops in place, even if your stops are triggered by the news. But I'm still bullish, yeah, like you, I'm still bullish. Not for the news, but for the whole month. So I want to establish a long trade, but I'm still waiting for the news just to see how low we can go. Would be nice to have the same levels from last Friday again. Just around this level. Maybe the 38.2% level would be interesting. For today, 11,850. Right above this level here. But sometimes we can also have a retest of psychological 11,800. Or the lows from Friday, who knows? Depends on how good or worse the data is. It can also be a lot worse than expected, and then the market will rally, who knows? Trying for a break here. And rejected again at the last highs. Yeah, it's not really interesting to watch this, just sideways trading. Until the news are out, 10 minutes left. Do you have some other stocks you want to see? Just let me know. We can look at menu, Manchester United. Still green, crazy, this stock. Went up more than 70% in November, you can see. When the World Cup began, they fired Ronaldo. And they are still trading higher. Volatility is coming down a little bit, but still high compared to the levels we were trading before. Still an interesting stock. LIM has a long call on, what is it? EPV, with expiry in March, and puts on Dow Jones. Okay, with March expiry. EPV, what is EPV? I've never heard this. Is it an ETF on electric vehicles? EPV. Ultra short, on FTSE. Okay, EPV. I've never traded this one. Okay, day. Ultra short on FTSE. EU. Yeah, it was going down higher a lot in the last days and weeks. We are at the lows now. And what are you holding? A long call. A long call with expiry in March. Okay. And which strike? Is it a liquid ETF? I've never traded this one. PV. There's almost no open interest here. Look at this open interest here. Almost nothing. 50-cent spread. Ah, it's not really liquid. Not really liquid. 20 cents, 30 cents spread. Almost no open interest. Nothing I really would like to trade. Yeah, it's not too bad. You can trade it, but nothing I really would like to trade here. And the ETF is at a really low level. And on plus you will have the problem with the path dependency because it's a short ETF. Yeah, but you can hold it until March if you want. If you are expecting the markets to go lower, maybe we'll see this in January. And the same on Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, there you have puts, so you also speculate on lower levels. Rocket is watching PSNY. Let's look at PSNY. Polestar. Ah, I know this company. I've driven the Polestar 2 already when it came out in Germany. It was, I think, more than a year ago. It's a nice car, comparable to Model 3. I liked it. But the overview, if you're sitting at the front seat, is better in a Model 3, I think. But the price level is good, and yeah, it's a nice car. But the company went down a lot. They're still not profitable. They belong to Volvo, I think, and the Chinese. It's a combination with a Chinese company, Polestar. But I think it will go good in the future. And it was really cheap. I've seen it in November, it was really cheap. It's still cheap at 643. Yeah. Polestar, PSNY. I've never traded into the US. Okay. I think it must be an ADR because it's a higher price than here, the Euro version of Polestar. I think it's a €2 Polestar. Let's see, Polestar stock. It's $1.33. Polestar Racing. PSNYW. This is a joint venture of Volvo car and Geely, Chinese, $1.37. It was a penny stock, trading below $1. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? It's maybe for the long term it's interesting, but for the short term I don't know what to expect from these companies. If you look at NIO and other electric car manufacturers, they are going wild right now because they expect to get rid of zero COVID in China. So they expect that the companies can produce again, and all the electric car manufacturers from China are going higher. Oh, dropping again. I've seen it before market open higher. It's dropping. Interesting. Down 2% today. And it was higher. It was 9% in the green. Yeah, crazy movements sometimes. Yeah, you see this? It's one day here. There was the speculation that zero COVID will fall. And they just bought in the stock here. So it's trying to establish higher highs, so it's interesting. Volume is coming in. It's still an interesting stock, NIO. Am I expecting a strong or weaker dollar? I'm still expecting a stronger dollar, but maybe we will have to wait for January to have a stronger dollar again when the markets are pulling back. Because when the market is strong, like I expect it to be in December, then the dollar will weaken. And this is what we see right now, a weakening of the dollar. You can also see in the XY dollar index. Here, this is it. I cannot show here. That's a problem. The XY, I can show it on Finviz. Come on. Yeah. This is UUP. This is a bullish dollar ETF. So you see we are pulling back since the end of September. US dollar is weakening. The rest of the currencies are getting stronger. And you see it's a stronger pullback, but we still have some room. Here, this is a major support level, and it was resistance in the past, so it will act again as support level at 28 here, and then we will see, and you see here the moving average right below 28, so maybe we'll soon see a support, and then we can gain strength again in January, maybe mid or ends of January, if markets pull back again. So 1 minute for the news. Let's go back to Nasdaq. We pulled back again. Still in place, the resistance here. Let's bring up the news. We have some seconds left, 30 seconds left. 5 seconds. Whoa. Better than expected. A lot better than expected. Whoa, 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 whoa. 56. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. There we can have the pullback. And we already went there at the 38% level. Not bad. Not bad. Nice. Yeah. And factory orders 1% and expectation was 0.7%, so higher than expected, and this caused the drop here. Let's see if we can further see a further pullback, or if it was already the movement. Oh, this was pretty fast here. Yeah, half a percentage point, more than half a percentage point. And it's getting weaker, coming down. But it's a major support level. So we will need more volume to break below here to get to the next level. Let's see how far we can go. It's weak, but it's going slow now. Yeah, not good for the Nasdaq, this news. But not really important overall for the whole month, just for the day here. Because next week PPI will be more important next Friday. not next week, but this week, Friday. We can go back here and see if there's a shift of expectation for the interest rate. Yeah, no shift right now. Sometimes takes some minutes to see the new data. Yeah, shifted a little bit, I think. 25.3%, it was below 25%, so no big shift here for now. Could you please explain how you use parabolic SAR? Yes, parabolic SAR is like ADX. I use it just as a second indicator to see the trend. So in which trend are we right now? You see on a 5 minute we will be in a downtrend when we close below here. We have 2 minutes to close this 5 minute candle, and then we will close below parabolic SAR, and therefore it will show again a downtrend. But you see it changes a lot here on a 5 minute time frame, so you have to see it on a higher time frame as we did before on a day chart, or maybe here 15 minute. You see on a 15 minute chart we are still in a downtrend. You see on an hourly chart we are still in an uptrend, so we have some room until it changes. But the more important is the day chart, and even if we are trading in a sideways trading phase and it's not a strong trend, you see here ADX, the red line is below 20 and the purple line and the Turkish line are right at the same spot. So this is because we are trading sideways, not a strong trend. But parabolic SAR can show you the direction, and the direction is to the upside. And here it can help, it can show you the direction, and you see it was down, here it was up, down and up again. So it's more interesting to see it on a higher time frame than on lower time frames, because it has more significance. The same here on a 4-hour time frame, you see we are in a downtrend. The same here on ADX, you can clearly see DI minus is above DI plus. It's not a really strong trend, but it's signaling a downtrend. Just on a 1-hour chart we see, because here pre-market at 7 AM my time, this is 1 AM Eastern time, we changed the trend here, parabolic SAR, because we closed above this dot here, and then it moved to the downside. But as soon as we close below the 1 hour, parabolic SAR will also go to the upside and indicate a short trend. Yeah, you see we closed below with a 5 minute candle and the dot went to the last high point now. You can use it like Bollinger Bands, so it's signaling the movement of the trend and how far it can go to change the trend. Rejected by 50% Fibonacci level. Liam is expecting European energy market to get hammered because of the price cap for Russian oil and gas. Yeah, could be, but I don't think, because it's still not really cold here. So it's one of the warmest winters, or one of the warmest Novembers we had. The winter is just beginning, it's just December. But yeah, our natural gas storages are full, completely full, 100% full. So that's why we already had negative prices for next day delivery in natural gas. Yeah, and producers had problems selling their natural gas. This is why the prices are dropping in natural gas. We can go back to natural gas, because there's less demand for natural gas. This is US natural gas, but you see the weakening of the price because of the warm weather. So there's less demand for natural gas because storages are full, and yeah, we use less gas because of the high prices and because of the warm weather. And now let's see at the technical levels what will happen. We are almost at the lows of the day, but I expect that we will hold for 1 or 2 days at the lows and then try on the next attempt to go below. Yeah, could be interesting to try to take on a long trade, but set your stop loss really near, because you know a lot happens here with natural gas. And that's why I call it the Widowmaker. You see, this was a previous low. We retested it. Now it's the third time we try to retest it, and we will probably go below, but not on the first attempt, because at first we will probably close here this gap here. And Nasdaq is getting weaker again. Yeah, it's looking good for our entry. Maybe I will take on a smaller position at previous lows here, but only a small position, and then waiting for lower lows for the red line here or the green line, the lows of last Friday, to take on my swing long trade. Yeah, just to have a nice level for a long entry. For the upside here, you see the next levels at 12,500 and then 13,000 level. I don't know if we will reach it in December. Maybe we will need to go into January. Therefore it can be interesting to go already on March expiry, not on, this is December 16th. So we will have less than 2 weeks here in this future, and it's getting less liquid until expiry, and a lot of contract volume will move to March expiry. I will show you. Let's see the website. Come on. So slow today. Don't know what is happening to my internet connection. Here, quotes. This is what I wanted to show you. Come on, bring it up. Here. So you see the volume is still high in December expiry, but March is coming up. 2,000 contracts traded today. Yeah, June is nothing, just 2 contracts were traded. But March will be important as soon as December is about to expire. And therefore I'm already looking at the March expiry for my swing trade if I want to hold the position until 12,500 or 13,000 points. And yeah, let's see if I can open it already in a March future. Last week it was a little bit illiquid. We had 3 points difference between bid and ask, and in December future the spread was only half a point, so it's still more interesting to trade the more liquid one December. But if you don't want to roll over the position at the expiry at December 16th, then you can already open a position in March expiry. It's trading a little bit higher. It was 116 points last week. It should be getting smaller, the difference between December and March, but just that you know the levels will be a little bit different, will be just about 100 points higher than the December expiry. Yeah, it's for parabolic SAR it doesn't make much sense just to look at parabolic SAR, because you see there's a lot of change here on a 5-minute chart. So just take it on higher time frames. If you see sideways trading and you want to know where's more probability breakout to the upside or to the downside, then you can see, okay, it's ADX is just not signaling a trend, but parabolic SAR is still signaling an uptrend. As long as we are trading above, it's in your favor. You can try to take on a long trade, and when we close below the parabolic SAR dot, then you should stop loss out your trade. Yeah, still some room, still some time, moving slow today, but it's still in favor of the bears right now. Let's see if we can settle here or if we can go to lower levels. I'm still waiting for my long entry in my swing trade. Okay, thank you for watching so far. Let's see if I can go live again tomorrow for the opening, if we have some interesting things. Wednesday I won't be live because I will have some more coachings, and in the evening also some webinars, so therefore next day I will be live is Thursday. Yeah, maybe I can manage to go live at the opening, and Friday for PPI I will try to go live as well. Thank you for watching so far. If you haven't done yet, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be informed when I go live next time. Wish you a nice trading week. See you next time.